I'm so happy because I figured out my music problem for Gnomes here. I'm just like, what am I gonna do for the music for this movie? Gnomes. That's like, I wanted to have this It Follows vibe, Stranger Things, like for music. But like, music, it's always been a problem. But, what is this video called? Oh, college. I'm gonna graduate in like 5 weeks. Wow. Where did time go? I don't know. What is going on? What the hell is going on? You reach a certain age and before you realize it, it's all gone. God, what could I say? I mean, I feel like I've had thoughts and reservations about college for a while now in the past 4 years. And I've never really like shown that side of my life, because when you see like the vlogs and stuff, I'm either at my house or hanging out with other people, but it's never really show Jacksonville University, talking about my experience, what I've learned, what I could give, what I could offer to just people who were in the same path as me, who were filmmakers. And that doesn't have to be just Godzilla. I know that's what my channel is, but like, if you're a filmmaker of any kind, if you're just looking for the future, where am I gonna be? Where am I gonna start? I mean, hell, I'm asking these questions and I'm about to graduate. Like, where the hell am I gonna go? I don't know, but I'm gonna figure it out. So when it comes to filmmaking, I mean, we all want to be directors. That's usually the case. I want to be a director still, but I also like editing. So like, sometimes I could be content with whichever, but I'm gonna direct my own films. Whether it's me working as a PA somewhere else, I will still be making my films as a director. If you think that you're gonna be a director out of college, you're looking at this in the wrong way. You need to start at the bottom. But it's like we're all trying to get to the top, right? And some of us are, and some of us aren't. There's a lot of unmotivated people out there, but I'm talking to you, the motivated people who just, this is what they want to do. So I'd say be patient in what you want to get, because you're not going to get it up front. When it comes to the film industry, I guess in a way that is not something that is necessary. You don't need to go to college to be a filmmaker. You make movies on your own. But we're all in the same boat, whether you're in college or not. I'm talking about as a person who went to college and is about to get out. I'd say just use the equipment as much as you can, because coming out, I'm not gonna have that level of quality. We use RED cameras in our film program. And believe it or not, that's a lot of what you see out there on actual professional movie sets. They're using RED cameras. When you start out your classes, you're not going to be making films. You learn about film, you got to watch all these movies and stuff, and it's not a bad thing, but you know, you're like, I want to just make something right now. That's why I'm paying to go here. So you will get a chance to do that, but I'd say start doing that before you even get the chance, before it even becomes a class project. If you got, I'm filming, your camera, just go out and make something. Get people, just like work with people. If miniature models is your thing and you see yourself doing that, wanting to do that for the rest of your life, go ahead. Start asking around. I mean, I'm a person who just never was really social in any way. Not to say that's changed, but I'm just more of a recluse. So like, when I made films, I mostly did it on my own. Here and there I got the occasional voice actor, you know, when I was pumping these Godzilla films back in the mid-2010s. That was it. I never really had anybody on set. It was mainly my mom helping me out, and my dad. Both of them are very supportive in everything I did, but you know, I never really had a crew until Gnomes, which is the project I'm working on now. So with Gnomes, you know, I went ahead and did not try to do everything by myself, because that's a problem I see a lot. People think they can do everything by themselves. You can't. You need people. You need to get to know people so that work on their projects so they help you. That's another thing. Paying people has always been like a question. You know, I can't get a crew, I can't pay it. You don't have to pay them. Whatever they're doing right now, if it's a sound guy and you know somebody who does sound, I'm saying go to the music department. If your college has a music department, go to there, hang around with the people there, get to know their names, because the people in the music department, they're going to be your best friend when it comes to sound. I was lucky enough to know somebody by the name of Gabe. Sound is the biggest thing that student films get wrong in college. When you look at them in their little annual film festival or whatever, you know, they look visually great, but sound, it's always crap. And that's because either they didn't pay attention to that lesson like me, or they just didn't know somebody who knew what they were doing. I am lucky enough to have somebody who knows what they're doing. Same with cinematography. I got to know somebody who was an older graduate student. His name's Borneo, and he's helped me a ton with my projects because I helped him with his project. So that's what it comes down to. There's no two sides to this. If you simply just work on their projects, if let's say the sound person you know is making a music video, or they're gonna sing something or play something, you know, offer to film that for them. Like, make friends with people who you know are competent. And a lot of the times it's the upperclassmen. I mean, this from my personal experience. So when you work on their projects, they'll help on your projects, and then you help them with other projects, and it becomes just a process. It becomes a factory of like work getting done. I've always been a workaholic. I didn't have a social life until halfway through junior year of college, because the whole time before that I dedicated everything to just editing Apex, and it was great. We got out a really great project and I'm proud of it, but it was rough. It was tough. I didn't have really any friends in most of college, and so because I was just on this, if anybody was like, you know, you want to do this, Raph? I was like, no, I gotta edit Apex. It sucks. It really does. You gotta pick one. Would you rather like get out a project you're really passionate about, or spend time? I mean, you could do both, but like one will always suffer. And that goes for, I guess, relationships too. It's always where you put your time in more. That's the most valuable thing. You know, would you rather give time to somebody that you like, or give time to, you know, your projects? You need, like I said, you can always do both, but I feel like one will never be perfect, or at least the best it could be, you know? So maybe flip-flop, I don't know, back and forth. As far as the scene at college, I never cared about joining fraternities or any of these groups. I'm not that person who's like, oh my god, you know, you're in your college years, you gotta make the most out of it. I don't know, I never found the activities involved in them to be, you know, worthwhile. Because when I did, let's say, involve myself a little bit, like, I was like, this is it? Really? Okay. This is a waste of time. And that's how I see it. Other people may not. Other people may enjoy those things, and I respect those people, but me? No way. Those 4 years go by quick. I don't think graduate school is for me either. I just want to get out there and move on, and not see a lot of people anymore. But I am going to miss people at the same time. I feel like I've met some pretty incredible people that I'm going to sorely miss. There's just sometimes certain people surprise you, and they're just interesting. There's a lot of interesting people out there, whether they're good or bad people. There's a lot of interesting people, and I feel like you learn a lot from being involved with, let's say, bad people sometimes. I feel like you learn the most about people in this time. I guess in the 20s you learn who people really are. And I'm not a saint. I'm not a very good lad, I would say. It's a very emotional time too. I feel like I didn't think of myself as a very emotional person. You know, I was always the type to just like, you're crying? Seriously? And now it's like, jeez. I feel like I've become more emotional as I've gotten older. Weirdly, like, I feel like comparing myself to when I was in middle school, I was such a robot. the same in high school. But as I've gotten older and I've experienced more things, it gets sad, but it also gets really happy sometimes. It gets very positive. It's like such a negative positive experience. So I would say, it's not like don't look for the right people to hang out with, just hang out with people and you'll find out if they're good or bad, and either way you learn something out of that. And I feel like learning something, it's like I take every negative experience in my life and I look at it very positively, and then sometimes it can be really hard to do that. And it's sometimes it's hard to even think I still have a YouTube channel. Like sometimes I know I don't post as often, but like before, but I'm just out here just experiencing things. And I feel like, I'm the same on YouTube, but like there's more to me that's happened to me and that I've learned. I'm not scared at all of the future. It's definitely daunting, but I'm not afraid because I figure everything's going to be alright in the end. A lot of people say that, but believe it or not, it can be true sometimes. Everything's going to be fine. People overreact a lot. People are freaked out. I feel like if you have the right support system, or at least seek a support system, those people can be really beneficial to you and they can help you get through the worst spots. Don't be afraid to hide what you feel. Be open to how you feel, because somebody's always listening or watching, whether they don't say anything. God, man, I'm just like looking at myself here and I'm just thinking of when I was a little fat kid, a little fat boy, just playing with toys on the screen. It's just like, who is that right there? I feel like YouTube in a way has been very therapeutic to a lot of my bad spots in life, which most of them were in the last 4 years. I think it's been therapeutic in a sense of, I feel like editing like life or a scene makes me realize the beautiful part of it in a way that just looks entertaining. I mean, that's what we're doing at the end of the day. We're just trying to entertain with whatever it is you film on the camera, a movie or just life or just, anything. There's nothing to be worried about. It's okay. That's why I say, your best friends will be people in the music department, people who know how to film, hold a camera, that's your cinematographer, and actors. Experiment out there, I tried the theater department because I got to know a lot of people there, and that's been a very interesting experience because the theater world is so different than the film world. I came to realize I didn't know anything about theater, but after just seeing a couple plays, you realize, wow, they're literally just exploding on stage. They're just vomiting emotions out. And while it's organized and focused, it's still just coming in strong. While in film, it's coming in small. The theater actors will tend to overact, and it's your job to bring them down to a level. It's like when they go too strong on a line, I'm like, just bring it down, be just authentic. No diss, I promise. With a case of this senior thesis film I did called Manhunt, I worked with one of my high school friends. His name's Clay, and he had the tendency to underact. But it was because he was just being himself most of the time. And I found it easier to manipulate that than someone who was overacting. Because when they're underacting, they just need a little more kick to be more awake and be more energized. But they are still themselves at the end of the day. So when they actually eventually do scream, it's coming from here. But I would say, just from my experience, work with the people in theater because they're actors at the end of the day. Whether it's from a different playing field, they still understand what they're doing. They're just inhabiting a character. It's just your job to get them to where you want them to, and you don't stop until you do. Because a lot of times, some people are gonna come in and try to change your script and try to take control of it. You need to tell them in a respectful way, hey, step the can you stop turning off, please? Now, when it came to gnomes, I chose a friend of mine, Olivia Montalbano, to play this very traumatized character. Knowing her, she always had this look that I wanted for the film, and I chose her for the film because of that. And it really worked out, you know? Some of the best acting just came from the looks, the eyes. It's always the eyes that tell you everything. Just however, you know, whatever look they're giving, this says everything. You don't need to, you know, do any of that, you know? I think a struggle a lot with me is that, like, I'm always trying to find the right word to say, like, do it like this and here's why. I struggle a lot in directing. Like, just, it's like I know the character, but on the day, like, if they're not doing it a certain way that's right, it's like, it's finding the words. It's finding the right words that I struggle with a lot. So most of the time, I'm saved by the people I'm working with, like the actor. They just, I'm like over here like, and they're like, I get it. And that's the best. So I want to just, if I can offer anything, it's just talking about how my college experiences went. And if you want more of these kind of videos, because I have a lot to unpack still, I just started filming and just blah, 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 blah. I just talked for just like 30 minutes now. God, it's almost 1 a.m. That's another thing too, okay? Sleep. Get some sleep, please. Oh my gosh, I did not sleep. I had a screenwriting class where I had to write a feature-length screenplay, 70 pages. And like, I stayed up all night doing like 50 pages, and I did not sleep that night. I started sometime during the day, and the class was at 9:30. I finished at 9 a.m., had to print that 20 copies and just be there and let everybody else read their screenplay while I'm dying over here. Oh my gosh, if there's anything I could give, number one advice, do your work in advance. Do your work in advance. Don't leave it last minute, please. It was rough, and it's my fault for not just sleeping, you know? You got this right here keeping you up. Whoo! Sleep is, you gotta get it. Please, I don't want you guys to get hurt. Hurt! But yeah, like I said, I felt like this was therapeutic, you know. I barely upload, but I try to stay on here. Just trust me, when college is over in a few weeks, I'm gonna get back into uploading, trying to get to 100K. I'm not giving up. It's just been really hectic right now, doing all these projects right now, and it's just, I need to focus on that. I can't be on this just making videos. I need to chill. Also, name your price. Don't work. If they're not really close friends, don't do anything for free. If you know what you're doing, ask for money. Don't take your work for granted. Know your abilities, and if you know what you're doing, and you know there's not a lot of market for a certain thing, just do it and get paid for it, please. That's it for this video, guys. I'm gonna leave you. You guys have a great day. This is Kaiju's 621.